Don't see any swarm cells on that side to tear out, or any there. But I do think I have a bee in my pants climbing up my leg. See what happens when you don't keep this clean. As it gets attached to the bottom, and you start having a mess. So we got more capped brood here, and there is some capped brood that fell out. So try not to go in the winter time, because this whole time the bees are trying to keep the not to wear elastic leggings already. But anyways, I don't try not to go in them in the winter time, because they're trying to keep the hive, I think it's like 93 or 4 degrees Fahrenheit. We got trouble here, this one's sticking. But they're trying to keep it that way so they can develop their young. And though it slows down a lot, in the winter the queen still is laying very little amounts, because she's got to keep the hive alive. Because I can't remember if it's every 30 or 90 days bees are going to die, so she has to keep enough going to keep the hive going. So we got a lot of mess here that we got to clean off, and I hate to. Just make sure my queen's not in it. No swarm cells on this side. Get these bees off here. I hate killing those babies. But you see, I couldn't even have to pull it out because this mess was, they were starting to build it in with the ones in the brood chamber. To be honest, I think it's probably the time I add box, because they are running out of room. Remember, I don't know if you could remember the noise they were making initially, how they were really quiet and slow moving. Still, they're starting to get a little antsy because they're trying to keep that temperature the same in there. And it's kind of cool out today. Alright. This frame looks like it's mostly their pollen stores. What you can see in there is all them amber, yellow, gold colors. That's what they use as a protein source. They combine with all the sugars and things they get out of the flowers to make. I'm very curious to see what's in the bottom, because they have pretty much turned this whole honey super into a brood chamber. And nothing on that side. So they're not quite out of space, because they have a whole frame out here and a whole frame out there to work on that haven't even been drawn out yet. But boy, we've got hive beetles on the outsides. You can see them in there working their way in. There's one there. So I'll have to show you a little trap for those. I might have to get another one. So that's it for the top. And it takes so long. Alright, we're going to try to go in the bottom. Alright, here we go. I'll try to be pretty quick about this. That's the problem right there. I feel bad. They've put all that effort getting those babies alive, and I have to just tear them out. But that's part of beekeeping. But the good thing is we can use that comb, try to keep the pace up so they don't get too antsy. Oh wow, look at this. So this needs a new frame, because they have eaten through that foundation. That's probably part of the reason why they're up there in the honey super. So we'll take this out. That's the old style with the wire I'm curious to see what these look like. These don't look so good, do they? So I don't like working on the outsides too much, and I found they don't really like working on these black plastic. There's some catbird down here. I need to get out of this daggone shade. I thought it'd be a good idea to keep him cool in the shade. It's a terrible idea. I can't see anything. I think we had some day old eggs in there. I just can't really see them. Boy, we got some bees. I know that. It's because it's swarm season. They're amping up to get ready to swarm, which is why it's imperative we take out those swarm cells now. Look in one of those combs, you might see a white little speck. It's kind of difficult. It's very small, smaller than a grain of rice. But that's a good sign. That means our queen's laying. So we've seen day old brood, seen like our old little eggs, we've seen larvae, and we've seen cat brood. We got all the stages. So we're doing pretty good. The only thing I've really seen is we got some hive beetles. So we did see her queen, which is a good sign, which means she hasn't swarmed. Is counting on these things. These are like queen cells too. They're super seizure cells, I believe what they're called. Super seizure cells. This is where the worker bees feel as if the queen isn't doing her job. They'll set those up, and they'll try to make their own new queen to supersede the queen that's in the hive. But we've already seen our queen's doing a pretty good job. It's just these down here in the bottoms, kind of crummy frames. So we'll cut those out because we don't want a new queen. Last frame, and we got to get that other box back on. And clean these up. Well, that's some old comb. Alright, now we're going to do this fairly quick so no bees have time to get on the bottom there. Oh, set it up here. It's on the side and kind of twist it on. That was pretty good. I don't think we crushed not one. Alright, while they quiet down, I'm going to check these one more time because I need to clean it up. Oh man, I love when you pull out a frame and you got all that on there. Alright, I think my queen has moved along. Some people out there watching this that know things about bees will say, man, that guy's crazy for messing with the frame that his queen's on. They're probably right. Maybe they'll be encouraged to build within the frame. Alright, easy does it. Get out of the way, girls. Whenever you're messing with a hive, always remember the bees are actually very friendly, docile. They'd rather be working, but if you disturb their hive, they will protect it. So the best way to work in the hive is to have smoke and be very slow and deliberate with your actions. You don't want to do jerky moments because they jump quick, sudden movement. Should have showed you that while I had it open. But I've tried really hard not to do that, so I always talk to myself and try to be very deliberate. So if you have a chance to work with bees, just remember smoke, good weather, and slow, deliberate actions is the best way to work them. Don't work them on a windy day or a cloudy, ugly day because they get in cranky moods too. The best time to work them is when it's nice and sunny and warm outside, so that way you can spend a little more time in the hive and not worried about bringing their temperature down and them losing energy, but also because they're in a happier mood because they'd rather be working, and that'll give you more time to work in there. But I hope you learned something. We got a few things to work on, but overall I think it was a good winter for this hive. And we got some comb to add to our wax ball. Go get some bees. You see a swarm, throw them in a box. You'll be doing it.